How do tariff or trade and economic policies affect aviation safety? Hi, I'm Morgan, and this is an aviation safety alert. Airline industries have been warning that U.S. tariffs could put aviation safety at risk. This can be seen in Russia as well, where sanctions being placed on Russia starved their fleet of aircraft of spare parts, and those spare parts are needed to perform maintenance on existing planes within their fleets. This led to Russia running into safety incidents twice as often prior to the sanctions being placed. This is also leading to countries around the world, not just the United States, putting off deliveries of new aircraft, meaning that the aircraft that they have in service are older. This was published in March of 2024, prior to any tariffs taking effect, by the Government Accountability Office, and we were already in the United States seeing supply chain and workforce issues in aviation. Tariffs and economic policies can impact not only the existing fleet of aircraft, but also the manufacturing and production of new aircraft. The public is used to seeing a plane once it has already been put together. And what you don't see is that each plane can be made up of over 2 million individual parts. Many of those parts require critical minerals and materials that have been heavily impacted by recent economic policies and tariffs, such as aluminum and steel. This can lead maintenance or manufacturers from using other suppliers to try to get the same parts that they need to complete the task. Although most of those are approved and acceptable alternatives to use in those scenarios, there's also times when they are not. This is why the FAA has a suspected unapproved parts program, where it can be reported that a part that is being used is suspected to not be approved for the use that it's being used for. And because this is a federal agency, which is currently subject to a government shutdown and recent funding cuts, it could take a while for the process of determining whether or not this suspected unapproved part should be allowed to continue to be used or be discontinued. When tariffs or economic policies make it harder for aircraft manufacturers or maintenance facilities to get the parts that they need, they do what any other business would do, which is source those materials elsewhere. This is a very complex topic, so I'm going to make a part 2 and possibly a part 3 or 4 to explain in more detail how tariffs and economic policies could affect aviation safety. Follow this page if you would like to stay up to date on aviation safety alerts, aviation news, and occasionally travel tips.